Iruma, a 14-year-old who supports his neglectful parents, works on a tuna ship. Amidst a storm, he avoids falling fish with expert skill. Suddenly, a demon, Lord Sullivan, declares Iruma sold due to his parents and transports him to the netherworld. Surprisingly, Sullivan asks Iruma to be his grandson, exploiting Iruma's inability to say no. Sullivan pampers Iruma, enrolls him in a demon school, and warns him to hide his humanity to avoid being eaten. At the school, Sullivan's status as chair demon is revealed. During the entrance ceremony, Iruma is unexpectedly praised and challenged by popular student Asmodeus Alice. Asmodeus fails to hit Iruma due to his evasive skills and a protective spell. Their duel ends with Iruma accidentally performing a successful move, earning fame. Iruma feels guilty for humiliating Asmodeus, but Asmodeus pledges loyalty to him and asks for orders. Asmodeus wishes to serve Iruma in his rise to power at the school. KaKuNime, a teacher with strict beliefs, dislikes Iruma due to his attention-seeking behavior. Iruma, always obedient and abused for it, can't understand why his parents sold him to a demon. Despite wanting to address his reluctance to attend the Babel's school, Lord Sullivan's gifts silence him. Asmodeus, called Az, befriends Iruma, explaining they'll summon familiars, revealing demon dedication to service. In the summoning room, KaKuNime targets Iruma and Sabnok as failures to eliminate. He explains summoning, using breaking a frame as an example. Students use parchment and blood to summon familiars over a flame. Az offers to challenge KaKuNime's hostility, but Iruma stops him. Az's Gorgon snake familiar impresses everyone. Iruma, a mortal without magic, expects failure and expulsion as he prepares to summon his familiar. Az warns Iruma about Clara's clinginess, but she becomes attached when a teacher leaves them together. Clara showers them with gifts and seeks their company to avoid rejection. Despite her annoyance, Iruma can't refuse her due to his inability to say no. They play with Clara's magical items. Clara wants friends desperately, but is exploited by others. Clara offers gifts out of fear that people will abandon her. When she overdoes it, Iruma rejects the gifts and assures her they enjoy her company. He makes her feel wanted. Clara confronts bullies, summoning a soda machine to fall on them. Az ensures they won't bother her again. Clara and Az befriend Iruma, waiting for him and walking to school together. Iruma learns about ranks for meals in the cafeteria, but Clara and Az share their food with him. Clara irritates a teacher, and Iruma accidentally summons KaKuNime as his familiar. They escape, leaving KaKuNime with the debt. They bond over ice cream and the term friends, as demons are unfamiliar with the concept. Lord Sullivan places them in a class for delinquents, where Iruma finally feels he fits in with Clara and Az as his friends. Class assignments are given, causing Iruma's anxiety, but Az reassures him that they'll manage together. Clara, Az, and Iruma find their isolated classroom a trap. Iruma easily dodges the weapons meant for him, and Sabnok Sabro enters, unfazed by the trap. He boasts of his aspirations to be the Demon King and obtain Yod status. Sabro explains the demon ranking system, placing himself highly. Asmodeus intervenes between Sabro and Iruma, claiming Iruma as a friend. KaKuNime arrives and announces an outdoor game to determine ranks. Paths called Warbling Valley and Cutthroat Valley are presented, with the latter's guardian blocking them. The students race, with Clara and Az teaming up. Sabro battles the guardian as Iruma is helped by a crow who leads him to the wounded guardian's child. Iruma's blood miraculously heals the child. Sabnok aspires to be the Demon King due to its appeal, not a tragic past. Iruma is saved by the guardian's child and convinces the guardian not to attack Sabnok. This impresses Sabnok, who now sees Iruma as a rival. Az and Clara reach the flag first, while Iruma and Sabnok arrive last with the guardian. They're punished for being last, though KaKuNime disregards Iruma's achievement. Students pick pins to determine their ranks. Az gets Dalit, Clara gets Gimel, and Sabnok gets Bet. Iruma's ring causes chaos as it hungers for magical power. It releases a sentient black flame, which is attacked by Iruma and Clara. Lord Sullivan intervenes, stabilizing the situation with his power. The ring, a gluttonous feeder ring, takes some of his power. Iruma eventually receives an Aleph rank. Since joining Babels, honor student Iruma has gained friends, fame, and respect. Unaware of Student Council President Ameri's growing suspicion, he arrives at school in Lord Sullivan's carriage, attracting attention from the opera. Clara and Az compete for his attention. Lord Sullivan gifts Iruma a hellphone. Classes with different teachers begin. In the botany tower, Stola Suzy demonstrates magic for plant growth. Sabnok and Az argue over flowers, while Clara's flower is monstrous. Iruma envisions sakura blossoms, unintentionally using magic due to the feeder ring. A giant sakura tree engulfs the tower. Ameri, knowledgeable about humans, recognizes it as from the human world. Ameri treasures shoujo manga as priceless artifacts, although she can't read them. Their romantic depictions intrigue her, making her blush. She wonders if humans possess an irresistible power to make others fall in love. Cleaning up the mess caused by his tree, Iruma bumps into Ameri, revealing her manga falling from her pocket. Irumi recognizes the book Ameri dropped and begins to brag about how much he liked this series and how he even helped work on it without thinking. Ameri's suspicions are confirmed, but she is too romantic to act on them. Rather than condemning him immediately, she is impressed by his ability to read the book. Ameri now has Iruma read the novels to her at her workplace. Ameri provides Iruma with her phone number so that they may stay in touch and read the manga together in the future. Opera asks Iruma whether he wants to return to the human realm before he departs for school the next day. Iruma finds he has been so concentrated on what everyone else wants that he is unsure whether he wants to return. Opera tells him that if he becomes a high-ranking demon, he will be able to return to the human realm. Ameri attempts to utilize human conventions from the manga to invite Iruma back, but she finds it embarrassing. Ameri summons him to discuss while Clara and Az visit Iruma for lunch, but she unintentionally labels it a date for her council colleagues. Clara and Az are both envious and intrigued by where Iruma is going. They are secretly following Iruma. They are taken aback when they discover he has been seeing Ameri. Clara claims that Ameri is attempting to kidnap Iruma. Meanwhile, Az believes that Ameri is Iruma's most significant impediment to controlling Babels. Ameri and Iruma talk about their goals. Ameri expresses her desire for Babels to be the best school it can be for its pupils, but becomes uncomfortable while discussing it and asks Iruma about his. Iruma discovers that he has never genuinely had an ambition and, like most demons, needs one. Clara suspects Ameri of kidnapping Iruma from Az and her. Clara takes Sabnok's suggestion and enrolls in seduction lessons for aspiring succubi. She should fascinate him with her words so that he never leaves again. Clara, however, isn't cut out to be a succubus. Clara is so pure, according to the instructor, who can sense how sexy another person is, that she has even less sexiness than a baby. Clara is adamant about succeeding. Her attempts to get sexier all fail terribly. Just when Clara is about to give up, she tells Iruma that she will make him fall madly in love with her. She succeeded in making him nervous, which improved her attractiveness slightly. The next day, Iruma informs Az that his new ambition is to increase his rank. Az is overjoyed to discover that Iruma has opted to pursue a better rank. Eiko is concerned about what she will do if Iruma advances in status. She admires him from afar. Iruma is led to the gym by Az. He advises Iruma about the periodic rank examinations, which are the quickest route to advancement in rank if you excel in them. The next exam is Execution Cannonball, which has been tamed for school testing as a game akin to dodgeball because of its violent and potentially fatal character. They practice team formation using cursed puppets. Sabnok and the rest of the abnormal class join in on the fun. After witnessing his friend's extensive use of magic, Iruma recognizes that practice does not make perfect and that he needs formal training. Az suggests training with Lord Sullivan. Lord Sullivan teaches Iruma how to cast a magic that allows him to toss items with great power. Iruma tells Lord Sullivan that he feels that utilizing his magic is sort of cheating, so Lord Sullivan casts a spell on Iruma's hands to strengthen them for catching a demon-thrown ball. Instead, Opera instructs Iruma. Opera is brutal, but Iruma realizes that he can't simply avoid missiles. He must also be able to collect them. The next day, Az and Clara visited to cheer him on in his training. Despite having yet to catch a ball, Iruma progresses quickly. The day before the exam, Iruma finally catches a ball. Opera instructs Iruma not to exhibit fear since it is the same as defeating demons. For the exam, Az and Iruma are on opposite sides. Az is torn about how he should assist Iruma from his side and spends the majority of the game pondering. They are eventually the only ones remaining on the court and are forced to confront each other. Az considers letting Iruma win, but decides that he can't offend Iruma in that way. Student council gathers to see the first-year students play, particularly Amidst. Az hands Iruma a ball engulfed in flames, declaring that he is giving Iruma his all. Iruma catches it, but he can't hold up to the force, so he parries it back at Az, thereby killing him. KaKuNime informs Az that if he had thrown in a fluke, he would not have passed Iruma. Iruma advances one level since he was the last one standing. Amidst congratulates Iruma on his newfound desire. When Iruma returns home, he praises Opera for all of their assistance. After the rank exam, Amidst and Iruma read manga together, but Iruma is preoccupied with his true dreams and has trouble focusing. Bar's Robin becomes the new familiar's mentor. Iruma hesitates to summon KaKuNime but does so when Bars asks to see his familiar. KaKuNime apologizes for his behavior, while Bars remains oblivious to his identity. KaKuNime urges Iruma to excel together without interference. Bars emphasizes familiars as partners, but KaKuNime corrects him, labeling them as dangerous. Following KaKuNime's advice, the lesson shifts to teaching respect for familiars. During lunch, the battlers' challenge begins. Az explains that upperclassmen hunt first years to join their battlers, aiming to elevate ranks. Iruma compares them to clubs, but underestimates the process of recruitment. As the hunt begins, the majority of seniors attempt to recruit Asmodeus. The quest is so severe that the initial years face bodily peril. Amidst and the student council keep an eye on the majority of the chaos, while Iruma discovers Amidst is the student council president. Amidst unexpectedly invites Iruma to join the council's battle. Nabarius announces a 3-day trial period, during which students will be able to check out several battlers before picking one to join permanently. Clara expresses a recurring interest in Raim's succubus battler. Iruma is torn between joining every battle because of his celebrity. His ring activates unexpectedly and takes him through the air, landing on Ami Kiryu, the recruiter for the magical apparatus battler, whose necklace is composed of the same metal as the ring. Iruma sees a number of battlers, most of whom are hazardous in some manner and inappropriate. Sullivan modifies Iruma's ring so that he may pick the degree of magic he wishes to utilize: devil, demon, or ifrit, as well as Pandorula for emergencies only. Amidst texts Iruma after trying the ring at the execution cannonball battler, telling him to attend the council battle before the trial time ends. Iruma gets caught in the crossfire of an explosion created by one of Kiryu's devices. The council members are confused by Amidst's newfound excitement for battler recruiting. Iruma texts her that he won't be able to attend the council following Kiryu's explosion, but Amidst feels that learning she is the council president has scared him away. Kiryu reveals that he investigates and makes magical objects, but his magic strength is so weak that he cannot use the stuff he creates. His purpose is to empower lower-level demons to stand up to higher-level demons who abuse them. Clara and Az accompany Iruma in his battleship. Iruma does subsequently visit the student council, much to Amidst's joy, at least until Iruma says he joined another battler. After the trial period, the school plans a battle party to welcome their new recruits and meet their parents. Lord Sullivan is required to attend the 13's dinner, a gathering of the netherworld's 13 finest heroes, all of whom are concerned that the netherworld is descending into anarchy in the absence of a demon king, and think it is time to elevate either Sullivan, Levi, or Belial to the throne. Levi and Belial agree that Sullivan should inherit the throne, but Sullivan rejects it since it would mean less time with Iruma. After discovering proof that Sullivan unlawfully visited the human world, Henri, one of the 13 and Amidst's father, is compelled to arrest Sullivan. Sullivan undergoes questioning by the Demon Border Control, prompting anxiety among most first-year students who fear the prospect of their parents visiting the school. Sullivan designates Nibirius as the interim school director, leaving the rest of the faculty curious about the circumstances leading to Sullivan's arrest. Kirio discloses that all battlers participate in presentations to compete for prizes and potential rank advancements. However, the magical apparatus battler group usually faces the disadvantage of a limited budget, resulting in minimal chances of success. This changes when Iruma gains inspiration to craft fireworks. Since the testing necessitates a dark environment, Kirio proposes an overnight stay at the school. During the attempt to produce gunpowder, Kirio unveils his talent for crafting magical barriers, which explains his ability to survive numerous explosions. Iruma requests that Ameri lend him one of her manga so that Kirio can reference what a firework should resemble. Initially declining, Ameri's stance shifts when she realizes this could lead to witnessing actual fireworks. Following the successful creation of fireworks, the group engages in a pillow fight that combines Iruma's agility with Kirio's barriers, ultimately leaving them drained. Later on, Kirio receives communication from a formidable demon proficient in lightning magic. This demon discloses that he is responsible for Sullivan's arrest and has collaborated with Kirio to develop a machine intended to destroy the school. The announcement is made that the battler party is scheduled to extend over a period of 3 days. The grand prize for securing first place entails an elevation in rank for the battler group members, and notably, a 2-rank boost for the battler president. Kirio persists in his efforts to perfect his machine, with flashbacks indicating that he managed to complete it thanks to Iruma's assistance. Unveiled through these flashbacks is his formidable demon associate's intention to employ the machine to eliminate a significant number of students. In the midst of Kirio's work within his concealed workshop, his concentration is abruptly disrupted by Iruma. Iruma's ring, guided by a peculiar compulsion, leads him through the air in search of Kirio's necklace. This unexpected encounter prompts Kirio to disclose to Iruma the existence of the covert workshop, strategically positioned on the school rooftop behind one-way soundproof glass. Kirio elaborates on his plan to empower the weaker individuals to confront the stronger ones, which involves the activation of the school bell to inaugurate the party. Despite Iruma's initial difficulty grasping Kirio's intent, he encourages Kirio to vie for the top prize, using their fireworks as a means to demonstrate that strength isn't the sole route to victory. Kirio finds solace in the similarity between himself and Iruma. With the preparations concluded, the much-anticipated battler party finally commences, much to Kirio's satisfaction. The festivities of Party Eve commence, marking the night prior to the main competitions. Since fireworks necessitate a dark environment, Iruma and his companions opt to scout their competition. Iruma eliminates the yakisoba battler from the competition by consuming their renowned ogre-sized serving, depleting their ingredients. Iruma receives a cautionary note from his peers regarding his primary contenders, the new magic battler, who will endeavor to conjure water from a stone, the game battler, equipped with the virtual sorcery hat for immersive virtual reality adventures, the underwater circus, and the magic beast battles. Az discloses their intention to ignite their central fireworks simultaneously with the ringing of the school bell that signifies the competition's commencement. Amidst a mishap, Clara inadvertently ignites a fuse, revealing a missing component for their most significant firework when it fails to launch. Kirio, however, has taken this firework to his workshop. Ameri's father possesses evidence of Sullivan abducting Iruma, which was provided by Baal, the influential demon aiding Kirio. With the sunset, Kirio destroys his necklace, erecting multiple barriers that immobilize the school's occupants. Iruma finds himself isolated from Az and Clara due to a barrier, while Kirio's scheme begins to unfold. Sullivan detects the emergence of the barriers, prompting Iruma to recognize them as Kirio's doing. Nibirius determines that the barriers possess self-healing capabilities, indicating that only a Tet, a 9th-rank demon, could have cast them. The barriers might possibly be completely dismantled only by a Yod, a 10th-rank demon like Sullivan. This revelation implies that Sullivan's arrest had been orchestrated in advance. Nibirius successfully navigates by breaking barriers and slipping through them before they can regenerate. He arranges for another teacher to announce to the students that the barriers constitute an unexpected maze event organized by the new magic and game battlers. Nibirius initiates an investigation into all demons possessing the ability to create barriers. When the majority of the students easily reach the courtyard, Nibirius becomes concerned that they might have been subtly manipulated into gathering there. Meanwhile, Kirio loads the fireworks into his school destroyer machine. However, a sudden realization dawns on him as he notices Iruma heading toward the laboratory. Remarkably, Iruma manages to navigate through the barriers, despite Kirio destroying his necklace. A flashback reveals that Asmodeus deduced that Kirio's intricate plan had been in the making for years. Asmodeus now uses a school map and one of Kirio's magical devices, replicated by Clara, to guide Iruma through the barriers. Nibirius singles out Kirio as the prime suspect and issues orders for the teachers to apprehend him. A section of the school collapses, and Ameri heroically rescues a student from imminent danger. Finally, Iruma reaches the laboratory. Kirio reveals his intentions to Iruma, and when Iruma asks why, Kirio begins to tell Iruma when he was born. His family is renowned for an abundance of magical power, so when he was born, there was extreme disappointment. He was shunned and rejected by even his own mother. He was sent to the Garden of Delinquents, a correctional school. He was abused and humiliated every day. He did have one friend who would speak to him. His friend had a charm that was very special to her, and when their bullies tossed it into flowing water, Kirio tried to save it with his magic. After turning back to see the despair on his friend's face and being the one to cause it, he has become hooked on eliciting despair and hopelessness in others ever since. Kirio met Bale after learning of the magical apparatus group from his first-year battler. When Kirio shared his love for cruelty with Bale, Bale reassured him that he was merely a true demon and that many today lack that innate trait. Bale then took Kirio under his wing and tasked him with eliminating the foundation of order in Babels. Kirio then goes on to say that he invited Iruma to watch the fireworks with him, so he could watch Iruma's face fall into despair as those he cares about most die. However, Iruma is unable to feel despair because he is used to it in his life. He truly is Kirio's natural enemy. Iruma then uses his feeder ring to launch the fireworks into the sky by hand, busting through Kirio's barrier. Knowing how to accept defeat, Kirio saves Iruma from plummeting to the ground with a barrier. Balsarabin used archery magic to send a warning letter to Sullivan while Iruma was discussing it with Kirio. When Sullivan escaped from prison, he watched Iruma utilize Pandarula to shatter the barrier, requiring him to defend the school from falling rubble. Kirio is apprehended by the instructors. However, he warns Iruma to be wary of other demons seeking an evil society. Demon Border Control arrests him and takes him to be questioned. Sullivan shows Iruma that his firework was a huge hit with the students, despite being chastised by Ameri, who wanted to watch the firework with him. Iruma, Asmodeus, Clara, and Kirio are all responsible for the firework. As the battler party begins, the kids vote for their favorite battlers, just as their parents arrive. Iruma prepares the remaining pyrotechnics before meeting 4 of Clara's 5 siblings and her mother, all of whom are as odd as she is. Asmodeus is apprehended by his humiliating mother, Amaryllis, a demon lord of seduction who lavishes him with love and adoration. Sullivan and Opera come to the event with Iruma, causing tremendous mayhem. They light the fireworks as the sun sets, and Iruma declares his new family his pride and delight before insisting on posing for a photo with Sullivan and Opera. The battler party's winner is determined by popular vote. The closing spectacular begins with prize distribution. The succubus battler gets an upgraded room, the new magic battler wins black holy water, and the broadcast battler gains rank increases. An extra award is introduced, raising a battler's rank by 1. The magical apparatus battler wins despite disqualification due to Kirio's schemes. Iruma is given the Gimel rank of 3rd place. He worries about standing out too much. Ameri's father, Henry, shows interest in Iruma. Ameri and Iruma read manga until Henry's arrival prompts Ameri's sudden exit. Henry questions Iruma about Sullivan's attachment. He mentions returning a human to the human world and asks Iruma if he wants to go home, but Ameri interrupts. Henry's suspicion is aroused, especially when Ameri blurts out that they talk about love. Asmodeus and Clara sense something happened with Kirio, but wait for Iruma to explain. Iruma decides not to return to the human world and vows to better conceal his identity. Iruma's rank increase gains more attention in newspapers than Kuromu, a Demdol, demon idol. Asmodeus explains that Demdols divert teenage demons from destructive behaviors by turning impulses into healthy excitement through entertainment. Kuromu is actually Crocell Karori, a misfit class student embarrassed by her cute idol persona. Despite her better academic siblings, she embraced Kuromu to surpass them and her mother's rank. Jealous of Iruma's spotlight, Crocell, disguised as Kuromu, is furious at his presence during her concert. Coincidentally, Iruma wins a ticket to meet her. Struggling to hide her identity, Crocell discovers Iruma already knows her due to her distinctive hands. Thinking her glasses' identity detection wards worked, Crocell is surprised when Iruma admits being jealous of her ability to hide. Frustrated that Iruma gains attention effortlessly, Crocell collapses with a fever from overusing her ice magic. Despite her fever, Crocell is determined to be the top demon. She opens up about her renowned family's icy abilities and expressions. Introduced to Demdolls by her grandmother, Crocell found her first smile and resolved to become a Demdoll, defying her family's nature. Ameri receives a concert ticket from her father, who will provide security. Making others smile is crucial for Crocell, as her family never did. Crocell awakens late for her performance and believes she failed, until she hears cheers and finds Clara, Iruma, and Asmodeus performing for her. Iruma, Asmodeus, and Clara open for Crocell, donning Demdoll outfits from Clara's pouches. They entertain until Crocell joins and they perform together. Crocell's family secretly treated her to a performance and left a note expressing pride. They'd be too excited to watch in person. Crocell's family values her as the strongest. In the end, Crocell and Iruma become friends. Iruma has fully embraced life in the demon world and has come to love it. His routine with Clara and Asmodeus includes a race to school. In class, they learn transformation magic. Afterward, Iruma reads manga to Ameri, who is subtly probing for his secrets. Ameri suspects that Iruma is also Irumi from the concert. At home, Iruma feels a sense of belonging while sharing a meal with his new family. However, the next day he seemed troubled. Clara and Az decide to cheer him up by cooking, but their different styles lead to a culinary contest. Asmodeus fears fish and gets advice from his servant. Both Clara and Alice work hard to create dishes for Iruma. Iruma tastes their dishes and realizes that combining them is even better. Clara and Asmodeus agree after tasting the fusion. The contest ends in a draw, solidifying their friendship. The next day, when Lord Sullivan tries to wake Iruma, he is surprised to see someone who looks like Iruma but acts differently, suggesting a change in Iruma's demeanor.